Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's go!
March 3rd, 2025 at approximately 10:49 a.m.
Wagwan, my peeps, wagwan. We here again, man. Let's get it.
Forest Hill police were dispatched to a shooting incident at a local car wash in the 6500 block of Forest Hill Drive. Upon arrival, officers discovered a 30-year-old male laying on the ground suffering multiple gunshot wounds. He'd later be identified as Chucky Smith, but more commonly known as the Texas rapper Get Money Lil Ronnie.
Drop your thoughts. What y'all thinking, man? This situation is crazy. One boy got gunned down, him and his daughter at the car wash, man. It's crazy out here. So tell me what y'all think about it.
Inside of his vehicle, officers made a horrific discovery. His 5-year-old daughter had been shot. Officers tried life-saving measures on both of them, but tragically, both of them would be pronounced dead at the scene. Preliminary investigation revealed 2 shooters wearing blue jeans and gray sweaters exited a white 4-door Kia. Ronnie's vehicle was parked within a bay at the car wash, and while he was vacuuming his interior, the shooters approached on foot and opened fire.
Damn, this crazy. You can't imagine, man, minding your own business, vacuuming a car, you and your little one at the car wash, and then they get pounced upon by unknown assailants. You've gotta be on point out here, man, but you know it's quite unfortunate. It's crazy.
Surveillance video would hit the internet showing they fired from close range as Ronnie took off running across the parking lot and away from his vehicle. Ronnie would keep running, making his way to a dumpster where the 2 shooters who appeared to be fleeing came back. Standing over Ronnie, one shooter would again open fire, dropping him to the ground. The second shooter would go behind the dumpster, off camera, and it can be assumed he also fired into Ronnie while he was on the ground. With both shooters running off, Ronnie would make one final attempt to run, but only last 5 seconds before collapsing. The same day of the shooting, police would announce a suspect had been identified and an active capital murder warrant had been issued. 2 days later, police would identify both shooters to the public.
Boy, the cops is on their job. So far they identified 2 of the shooters, but you never know who you can trust, man. It's crazy out here. Be safe.
24-year-old Adonis Robinson is a convicted sex offender who was released from prison in August of 2024. He'd be convicted of sexual assault and failing to comply with sex offender registration. Apparently, he was 19 years old at the time of his arrest, while his victim was 55. According to a news article from 2019, a woman was jogging a trail when she passed a man wearing a hoodie pulled tight over his head. She was attacked from behind as he threw her to the ground, hitting her and threatening to beat her unconscious if she didn't stop screaming. She continued to fight back and scream as he tried pulling down her jogging shorts. Someone nearby heard the screams and came to her aid as the suspect saw them and ran off.
Whoa, this is crazy, man. Now, allegedly, one of these shooters, or so-called shooters, is a sex offender.
During the attack, the suspect dropped his phone charger, and DNA on the charger would trace back to Adonis. Surveillance video from a nearby cell phone store would show he bought the charger hours before the attack. 21-year-old Jacoby Russell has prior convictions for unlawfully carrying a weapon, assault of a pregnant person, and assault with bodily injury. Apparently in 2023, he beat his child's mother by striking, scratching, or dragging her with his hand. A plea deal would leave him on probation for 3 years, but only months later he'd be arrested for shooting a man.
Why, I be a drama. Now, allegedly, shooter number 2 is another weirdo on the list. This man beat up his baby mother, scratch her up, all type of thing.
Another plea deal would spare him from prison, reducing his crime to a misdemeanor and sentencing him to a 1-year labor sentence, meaning once a week he had to work at the sheriff's office. He decided not to go and had a warrant out for his arrest at the time of the car wash shooting. It would seem the system failed its Texas citizens, as neither man should have been in society after one attempted a rape while the other beat his pregnant girlfriend and then shot a man.
What y'all think? Y'all agree with the 90 Jake? Do you think these guys should have been stayed locked up? If so, let me know on the thing.
I can't think of anyone that isn't disgusted with this story. A 5-year-old girl being gunned down with her father. Her last moments in the back of a car while his were on the pavement. At the end of the day, killing is killing, and every day the wrong people get shot. But who's actually to blame? If the shooters were locked up back when one tried to rape a woman and the other shot a man, they wouldn't have had the ability to kill that little girl. If the so-called street code was real, the shooters would have got punished for targeting women in the past, but they didn't. Everyone can claim women and children are off limits, but the reality is, the streets knows no limits. Any and anyone can fall victim, and whoever's left either seeks revenge, continuing the cycle, or attempts to pick up the pieces. As for the two shooters, on March 6th, 3 days after the shooting, cell phone video would emerge of multiple police vehicles at a Chevron gas station in Livingston, Texas. Livingston Police, Fort Worth Police, and Texas Rangers would place a man and woman into custody, with police having confirmed the man was none other than Adonis Robinson. It's unclear at this time if the female will face charges of accessory. On March 7th, Jacoby Russell would be arrested in Fort Worth, and the chase officially came to an end. With both men facing capital murder charges, under Texas law, they can face execution, which I can't imagine anyone protesting against. A GoFundMe for the mother of the little girl that was taken will be pinned in the comment section of this video for anyone wanting to donate.
Raw emotions as loved ones rushed to the car wash. Cries were heard as people leaned on one another.
When is gonna stop? He didn't target nobody. He was a family man and he was going around rapping. Okay, why would you target him? He didn't bother nobody. And a baby, his baby.
Just the thought of you can't go to a car wash with your kid without the possibility of being gunned down is crazy. And at this time, we don't know a motive, so like I said, I'm not gonna dive into the conspiracy theories, but I am gonna break down accountability. Killing is killing. When you decide to kill somebody, you're responsible for every shot that comes out of that gun. A lot of these guns out here, the bullet isn't gonna stop when it hits someone, it keeps going. The bullet isn't gonna stop when it hits a car, it pushes through. This is how innocent people keep getting killed. They saw him at his car, they opened fire, they end up hitting the little girl, probably had no idea she was there, but now, nobody cares. Y'all made the decision to pull those triggers. Your decision caused the death of not only him, but a 5-year-old little girl. If the state of Texas pushes for the death penalty, who the fuck in all actuality is gonna say they don't deserve it? I would love to know. Who's gonna say, yeah, no, don't fry them. Nah, spare them. They didn't know better. They weren't fully developed. No, none of that. Because if you look at their history, one tried to rape a 55-year-old woman, the other one's beating his pregnant girlfriend and shooting people. Accountability again. If the judicial system had put them away, they would have never had the ability to do this. So again, there's a fine line between, defund the police and give people bonds and don't be strict, to where you let people off that should be in. I've been in prison. There are people that 100% should never be released and should never come home. And if you've been to prison, you know the people that I'm talking about. You've seen them. They just can't get right. They love stabbing. They love violence. They can't handle responsibility. They fold under pressure. They lash the fuck out. They're mentally unstable. Well, clearly, that's what we're dealing with in this situation.
Boy, I don't wanna crazy for real, man. This story got a real plot twist. But if I agree with 1090 Jake, let me know on the thing. Let me know about how the story went about for y'all guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We got a lot more to discuss, but as I say, every story ain't gonna be the same, so just leave in the comments and thoughts. I hear that mad thing, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
It's a terribly sad thing that happened. My condolences to the family, and like I said, I'm gonna have the GoFundMe pinned in the comment section for anybody that wants to donate. But rest in peace to Ronnie. Rest in peace to his daughter. As a father, I can't imagine. I'll just have to keep y'all updated with this case. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. Till next time.